This is Memoirs of a Fitness Trainer podcast. We are your hosts, Ryan Tullis and Tyler Johnson. With over 20 years working with clients and a lifetime of personal experience in athletics between the two of us, we're here to talk about the meat and potatoes of the fitness industry. Join us every week as we interview clients and fitness professionals alike and teach you the tips to succeed in your own athletics journey. With the rise of AI in the fitness field, many are concerned. Are we in risk of losing our jobs? Is personal training and online coaching a bygone job for the new era to come? In today's episode, we are talking that very topic. But first, I need a favor from you. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe. It means the absolute world to support the channel and our growth. And quite frankly, it makes me a little less neurotic. And, we all kind of want that. But it's going to be a fantastic episode. I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, the one, the only, the Mr. Tyler Johnson. Say hello, my good man. How are you doing? It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been quite a break. I've had 2 weeks off and I feel very, very lazy. I spent 2 hours in the gym today and half of it was just cleaning my garage. So still getting back in the routine of things, but feeling well rested. How are you?
It's the beginning of the new year. So I think I'll sleep maybe in March, like late March, Nice. But other than that, I'm not doing half bad. A lot of projects starting to kick up off the ground in the last couple of days. So it's rather gratifying, if not very, 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 very stressful. So,
Well,
fun stuff.
Yeah, you're a hard worker. The guy who likes to clock in 16 to 48 hours straight in a row.
I mean,
ranging somewhere around there.
I'm not going to say I haven't worked like 2 days straight before, but it has been a little while. I'm maturing as an individual.
Nice.
Trying to find balance.
4 hours of sleep. Got it.
That was me yesterday, dude. That was bad. That was real bad. By the time I was eating McDonald's in my car, which, if you guys don't know, I'm doing a McDonald's challenge for weight loss.
Oh my God. I can't wait to do an episode all about that after the first month. For sure.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I was literally sitting there eating a burger, like falling asleep in between takes, going, oh my God, I'm going to fall asleep and pass out in a McDonald's parking lot.
Oh, wow.
This can't be how I go.
This can't be how. Have like an aneurysm, like right that.
Everyone will think it's the McDonald's. I'll go down a laughing stock. Oh, God.
Dude, what are you titling it? It's like the opposite of Super Size Me. So it's like,
The McDonald's weight loss challenge.
McDonald's weight loss challenge. All right.
Yeah,
so
I thought about a reverse.
Downsize Me.
It's already a thing. I'm not Matt Damon. I can't pull that off.
What? Did Matt Damon did that?
Downsize Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when he gets like shrunk down to little people to reduce his carbon footprint and like save on cost of living. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a terrible movie.
Literally, I know like tons of movies, and I've never heard of that.
Yeah, you know tons of movies. Me too.
Yeah, or Matt
like
Damon.
4. All right, let's dive into her, man. So, Tyler, in your words, what's the worry with AI and fitness? I mean, I've kind of got like my thoughts on it, but what are you thinking?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the times that we have like new clients or consults come to us, what the first thing that they want to do is they want to ask us like, hey, I just want a simple training plan, something that I can work off of on my own. And that's something that you can easily just ask in the AI. You can literally just type in words onto ChatGPT and just say, write me a 3-day workout program for 60 minutes of basic exercises for somebody who is just a beginner. And boom, you have it. It's readily available. It's right at the fingertips.
Do you feel like we're going to be replaced? Is that like the worry that we're, because it's so easily accessed? Like, well, what the fuck's our job for?
Well, here's the funny thing, right? So my boss, when I was leaving my last job, and I worked in the tech industry as like as somebody who was doing installing of a lot of wireless networks, and he was very much into the AI and how it was evolving and improving. He was telling me, he's like, dude, you're going into a bad profession. He was like telling me like, dude, I don't see it growing much further with AI and what everything's going on. Like, I don't think you're making a smart choice. He was telling me about it. And in the back of my mind, I kind of listened to him a little bit just because I know some of the stuff that we installed, these $1 million mansions that are like self-performing fitness areas, or you have like Peloton where you have this, now you have the mirrors. You have all these different types of equipment that is like a full gym that you can keep at home that has videos of trainers on them basically showing you how to do the movements.
I've seen some of those. Those are pretty cool, like the whole tonal thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But, there's still people who like pen and paper of writing letters. There's still people out there who are reverting back to the basics. Or if you even look at like the population right now of like Gen Z, of how they're dressing, even the 80s themes are like coming back. So a lot of the retro things, a lot of things, it's all going to cycle back through, and you'll never lose the expertise of somebody with a physical touch. Like, I'm definitely a trainer who I've got to be there present with somebody in order to physically move them into position. And I don't think AI is ever going to be able to do that. At least not that I can visually see.
So you think training's going to more become like a niche luxury? Like, all right, yeah, I can have something manufactured for me, but some people are going to want the built by hand kind of thing still. Is that kind of the idea what you're saying?
I'm saying that there's a lot more personality that goes into, having a conversation with somebody one-on-one in person when somebody's inside of a gym. And a lot of people that are in the population ranges that I'm mostly training, which is like above 35, 35 up to about 80 years old. It's like those are the people with wealth and a little extra expenditure that train in person. Those are the ones who are spending the money on me, not the people that are necessarily equipped to work with AI right now. So with the population I'm working with, they're more accustomed to seeing somebody physically in person. They're not really ready for that next generation of watching a video or having some kind of mechanical machine with a trainer in front of them showing them how to do the movements.
I'd agree with that. I'm with you. I don't think in-person personal training is at risk. No. At all. I mean, if that type of person was willing to not have a non-human element, they wouldn't be in the gym talking to a personal trainer. So I think it's already a disqualifying thing where like personal training is. I mean, I really do believe it is a timeless profession because people will always need a human interaction to help guide them from point A to Z. I just think that's how human beings were wired.
Yeah, it's like having the idea of like having like a coach. If you're really going to have like a coach of a football team, could you replace the coach of a football team with an AI trainer or an AI coach that's just going to read the routes, watch the plays of the previous play, and know exactly what to do next?
I would watch that.
I mean, it'd be possible. I mean, there's definitely like the idea of visual intelligence. If you think like to like Squid Games, I know I'm bringing up something that's a hot topic right now, but like the red light, green light, where they have that big animatronic doll that's in the front that has like the eyes that can visually see things move. Imagine that type of scouting happening on the football field live and being able to watch and read plays and then being able to analyze where the gaps are and just immediately displaying that information out and running plays with that team. It's not so far off that it couldn't be an idea, but I bet you they'd ban it in sports because they wouldn't want that happening.
I think it takes the human element out of what's supposed to be a human sport. And again, it's why I think personal training is so resistant to changes like these. Is you're talking about replacing something that's inherently human, personal training, the personal being the emphasis. I think that the type of person that is willing to invest into training is always going to be willing to invest into a personal element. So, yeah. But I think things like I would definitely watch a sports team play that was AI generated or AI run. I think that'd be fascinating.
I mean, you could probably even do it off a camera phone at this point. So biomechanics or how people actually like do like video games or like, fighting styles. Like you see like the MMA video games where they do a 3D human and they put all the ball points on them, or they use these with movies and being able to analyze how a body moves. Now, if you're able to take some type of form like that and bring it home and have people dress up in whatever outfits that they need to dress up in, and the AI could talk to them and actually read out and say, hey, you're moving like this. This is what you need to do with your knee angle and flexion, and make those changes. That would be the only thing as far as risk of taking the personal element out of it, because us as expertise personal trainers, we can see somebody moving and say, your knee is slightly flexed in on the left side, and that's what's causing this. And it's like, oh, I didn't even notice that was happening. It's like, yeah, well, I've trained enough people to know that that's happening. But if you're able to have some type of videotronic thing do that, I mean...
Videotronic?
I don't know. Got a little brain fog. I just had my first meal today, and it was just a PB&J. I'm working.
That's okay. All right. So we're probably not too at risk of in-person personal training really dying off. And if you're working in a box gym as a hourly personal trainer right now, you've got a profession for the rest of your life. I promise you that one. I don't think you have any real danger of that being released. But Do you think AI is a sufficient tool to create workout programs and meal plans, though?
So there's a little bit of the personal element that comes into it. So each person, you can kind of tailor off of it, but it is a great way of using it as a roadmap. I've actually used it for a client on Olympic lifting, of calculating percentages of their weights and scaling out their weeks. So it's definitely a tool that you can use. But if you were to just give it some general information about somebody, I don't see it as the best solution right now. And still understanding how that person's going to be working into fatigue, or if they're in bad weeks, or if they're skipping meals, like everything else on their training program, if they're, they need a personal element to actually like tailoring that in as the weeks go on. But I definitely see it as a good tool.
It's a good ad. I mean, I've played around quite a bit with it, with progression models and creating diet schemes. Like we have an AI plugin with Trainerize right now that's tracking essentially all of our keystrokes and trying to predict, all right, what would I make this change before I even make this change? And it's so far been horribly inaccurate, but it's slowly getting closer and closer and closer. But I still feel like it has to mirror the human element and will never be something perfect, at least not with what AI is doing in the immediate future. But it is most definitely, I think, a value add for a personal trainer to use with their clients, especially with things like writing copy. If you're trying to write a workout book or a get start guide, or okay, I need to write a PDF of how to track macronutrients for my clients. All right, yep. You can use AI and put information into it and go from there. But as far as I'm Jenny, 140 pounds, and I want to lose 10 pounds, make me a meal plan. I don't think the human body is that predictable, unfortunately.
It's really nice though, because I a little bit on the antagonist side of this. So for somebody who is not so adept into doing nutrition diet plans, like what I do is I just take their body weight, put in the kilograms, and I'll write it into AI and say, hey, I have this person who's this many kilograms. They're looking to lose weight. This is the calorie deficit I'm looking for. Give me an example of a meal plan that would work off of it. Exclude these types of items, something like dairy or, anything that's going to be heavy on their bodies. If they are allergic to nuts, then I'll put that in there. And it'll kind of give me a basic meal plan, and I'll just send that out and be like, hey, this is something that's kind of a guideline to work off of. Of course, we want to use what you're already eating and kind of just make some slight little detailed switches, maybe not adding in McDonald's.
What you got against the clown, man?
Dude, I'm so excited about your Mickey D's game. But okay, anyways, so for the nutrition element, for me, it's a huge tool. Like it's created meal plans that I've helped people and I've already seen in use. So I definitely think it's getting there.
I think creating a meal plan's half the battle with things. It's throwing out some food and some things for people to do. People think that they need to know what to do, and the reality is that they need to know how to do things. And just having a meal plan of these 20 things is part of why I'm not really a big fan of meal plans, is you're trying to match yourself to something that's not you. And people struggle with making these massive changes to their entire life in one sudden go. And when the only advice they're getting is, hey, here's this piece of paper with follow these meals, this thing, do that thing. It's like, well, people aren't so straightforward. We don't have the same day every day. We don't operate the same way. Even if we have different meals and there's all these alterations, like, oh, well, you can do this thing or you can do this thing, and you give like 20 different options. It doesn't take into account that someone's entire week in life is so dynamic. You have to teach problem solving and how to make decisions in real time. And I just don't think putting out a piece of paper that's computer generated is going to facilitate that. But I might just be a little defensive, since nutrition's kind of my craft, right?
Right.
So maybe there is a sense of
you do need the accountability factor, which you're not going to get. I mean, it's up to you to to involve these things, as you were saying, in somebody's life. If they're not practicing the principles that they're just typing into the chat GPT and nobody's keeping them accountable to doing them, then it's just words on a sheet. So that's definitely where the trainer comes in and says, hey, I'm seeing you. once a week, or, I'm checking your meals, or you're not, like with your programming online on Trainerize, like, hey, you're not inputting what you're eating, what's going on, and you can kind of keep them more accountable. That's less, they feel more emotionally attached to that, versus imagine some type of AI saying like, hey, you forgot to log in your meals today. Like that, they have no emotional attachment to some type of, piece of equipment sending out a reminder.
They turn off the notifications.
Exactly.
We tried that. Yeah, no, they just turn off the fucking notifications.
Yeah,
like you'd be surprised at how quickly whatever app or AI thing you'll just go, yeah, and I'm just not going to get updated from this thing anymore. I'll check in when I want to get scolded later. Like, people are beautiful.
Versus if you have a trainer looking over your meal plan and saying like, hey, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday you didn't log anything in. What the hell happened? Then it's kind of like, shit, Ryan's on my ass. I got to get on this.
Well, I think you enter into a social contract with somebody. Like you enter into the social contract with your trainer when someone signs up. And there's this element of like, hey, I'm committing to you that I'm going to work X hard to try to achieve this. And I'm going to listen to you specifically as the expert. When you have AI, you don't have that type of social thing. It's why posting on social media is such a revolutionary game changer for personal trainers. It's not that we're posting a story and that's going to get like this amazing traction, or you're going to become this influencer that everyone wants to be like. I mean, though that's the goal, right? It's that when we post these things, people see us doing it and they feel like they're a part of it. It's that human connection of, I want to impress upon this person the work that I'm doing, and I don't want to let them down or embarrass myself to this person that I entered into this social contract with. That's what I think it is. You're kind of getting a handshake agreement with someone, and I do think, as old school as that sounds, that's the thing that gets people to succeed, and why having a very good connection with your clients is so important, ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to know the background of their lives. You don't know, AI is not going to know like, hey, this person's kid has been waking them up 3 times in the middle of the night. They're coming in exhausted. They're having some type of battle with a construction crew that's at their house. There's all different types of personal elements that's going on in somebody's life. So.
Gotcha. Well, then how can AI help personal trainers? I mean, I've used it for writing things like copy or a recipe books. Like pretty much everything outside of the recipes was generated via AI. Like I think it's a very good tool, but how do you foresee AI helping personal trainers, and just in terms of box gym personal trainers or the independent, like in-person work?
Well, if I'm starting with the box gym trainer, like for myself, since I'm going into a small group training program and I'm trying to move in as a program, well, I am the program director, and I'm going to be starting to kind of develop these classes off of that. So I use ChatGPT as far as like, hey, write me out a 3-month workout sheet that is based off kettlebell movements. And it's just something that I can just kind of take and tailor off of. It kind of gives me the format of what I'm looking for. And I can ask, put in a questionnaire or put in this or put in that, and it'll just type it out. So I'm not having to do all the thinking behind it. And it's there, it's ready, it's available. Like I can develop a sheet in less than 20 minutes that would have taken me normally like 3 hours. And it would be efficient and almost better because it's going to be written in a professional language. Or if I'm trying to do something that's like sending emails, if I'm sending emails out to clients, I can have it do like a personal check and be like, hey, clean up this email, make it shorter, or extend a little bit more about this information, or clean it up so that way it's like more professional language. It's a way of presenting myself better. I found that as a helpful tool. We already kind of touched on how it's going to help with as far as developing training programs or with the nutrition. That's what I see as like the secondary things is sheets or availability. If I'm looking at the independent, like for me is like when I started off this last year, which, I really didn't give enough effort to it. It wasn't really grabbing enough attention for me to go off on my own. It just seemed like something I wasn't really putting enough energy into, at least now. So I used it for writing a business plan, formatting, what are some of the things I need to check off of a list. And that was helpful as a tool. I don't know personally how I use chat or AI. Maybe you could touch a little bit more of how I could use it for, or how people could use it in the individual field for accounting or any data retrieval from clients?
It all scales. It's all the same stuff. It saves on time mostly. You just have to spend more time being nuanced, just depending upon, like, say, like accounting. Like, all right, well, depending upon what type of business the accounting model is going into and how you're running it is a little bit more nuanced. But I've used it a lot with my reach out, with automated sending of check-in forms. And like we can do AI plugins now with form checks that you send to your clients. And essentially it'll augment what the check-in form looks like based off of the data that they've been putting in, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Is that on Trainerize?
You have to get a plugin for your web browser for ChatGPT. It's a workaround with a separate company, but It allows you to make more tailored changes. But I just think it's another way to offload a little bit of the administrative work, the things that take time. Like, I think it's going to be a good tool for the entrepreneur, for the independent trainer, because it takes the 100 million things you have to do, and it allows you to offload half of them to go, hey, I need to go ahead and write an email marketing campaign. Well, that might take you 2-3 hours to put together. Or you can use ChatGPT and you'll bust that out in a couple minutes. And yeah, you might have to spend another 10-20 minutes like fiddling with it to get it to where you need to be, but you're still massively cutting down on time. And that allows you to go out and work with more people and spend more time growing the business and doing the things that actually matter versus things that, I mean, you probably could have just hired someone for minimum wage to really do, but most independent trainers don't have the finance to hire some guy to work in the background.
No.
So I've seen it a lot with just making tasks simpler and offloading things off my plate, and that's a game changer. As really unexciting as that sounds, but when you are growing a business and you're going past that first 10, 20, 30K, anytime you can offload something off your plate, it's like, oh my God, you just saved me one task in a week. I'm beside myself at how happy I am. Like it's I can't stress how important that is, but just a time saver mostly.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah. All right. What are our hopes for the future of AI in personal training, mind you? You know, I got like other hopes for AI later, like, you know, AI machine overlord kind of hopes, but like that's for my tinfoil podcast.
Right. You know, one of the coolest things I think that would be awesome is, you know, for somebody who's an at-home personal trainer, imagine that you could use like Elon Musk, his new animatronic human beings, like that are just like the iRobot movie. Imagine that you could wirelessly connect into one of those and be there physically with your client. You just put on a headset and you'd be there as a robotic, like helping and assist.
Oh God.
So that you could literally just be present, but you wouldn't have to drive to their house. So if some of these millionaires are already having like these things in their household, imagine that you could be there and almost physically feel like you're present. So that way you could grab them on the shoulder or move their arm or correct something in format, and your voice is coming through it, and it kind of feels like you're a presence. That's something I could see it as being an effective tool.
I'm just imagining my face right on like the video screen of this robot.
Yeah.
Just some dude like a Pashtun accent just coming in. I'm not gonna do it. We're not. No. Early channel. We're not gonna risk it.
Yeah, I mean that would be an effective way of like reaching at-home clients or even across the world and feeling like you're present in that scene. That's something I could see. Something that'd be really effective for like at a gym floor or in a small group training atmosphere would be having something that's like a visual eye that's like watching over clients or watching over things and showing that somebody is either moving incorrectly and being able to pinpoint and spot them out. So if like you had an iPad and you're the trainer up at the front, you're running a small group class and you're seeing that somebody's heart rate is, you know, a little bit high, and you can actually have this visual eye telling you like, hey, this person's moving incorrectly, and points them out while you're working with, you know, a group of like 10 people. Or you're seeing somebody's moving at a slower pace than they had before. You can kind of see like how much their effectiveness is working into. That'd be another tool aspect. But I mean, it'd be the cost relationship of having that. I don't see it as necessary.
I don't think gyms are going to have, unless AI becomes this just completely open thing where it's just like, oh yeah, you pay a subscription to tune into this server farm and it's easy to go. Like I just think gyms' profit margins are so goddamn low to do something that innovative. I mean, that'd be cool though.
A last thing, as far as like doing, like large room classes are huge. And if you could have a trainer record a workout and they don't have to be like there again to do that workout. Like imagine you have just one recording of a workout and AI was able to just take that voice recording on top of it of what that workout was and also record the movement of somebody. Hey,
Well,
look
hello,
who it
boys.
is. He is driving the mix, baby.
Glad to
Welcome,
be
Aaron.
a part of it, y'all.
This guy finally got stuck from out underneath the bench.
Lifting with his neck?
He's trying to push like 405 off the bench and was like, fuck.
Unfortunately, I had to do
spotter.
some business things, so I was not able to make it early enough, but I'm here now, so we are ready to go.
All right.
So we're almost done.
We can go a little bit. We can
Yeah,
go
let's
like
jump
15
in. Let's
minutes longer.
conversate, boys.
Let's finish this up first. That way Tommy's got
All
something
right,
to
cool.
clip for later.
All right. The topic that we're dealing around was the idea of using AI, of where you could see it effective inside of a gym, or if it was inside of a box gym, or where do you see it going, or what would you like to get out of it?
Man, I mean, that's a big topic. Honestly, so many people think that AI is going to be something that's going to take over all jobs and our jobs. Fortunately, I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. I think we're all pretty safe with that. People love the interaction with trainers and learning from people to people. I do, however, think AI can come into a big benefit in the gym when it comes to success, people's monitoring analytics. So I do think that it will be a big availability for us to use with our clients. I don't think it'll ever be a position where it'll take over our jobs.
I love the fact that you just hopped on at the very end and parroted everything that we've been saying this entire time.
We're
That's
right here, guys.
fucking
We're right
fantastic.
here. I mean, that's why we do this shit, man. We're all working. We all got the same mindset.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's one of those things that when you work in training, it's even though it seems like we all have different opinions, at the end of the day, I find most trainers generally agree on most things. I mean, yeah, you get some people that are just paper trainers that like, all right, that guy's not worth the air he breathes. But I think in mass, most trainers generally have the same way of looking at things in terms of how the industry is evolving, what risks we face, what things really aren't risks to our careers. Trainers, they're my people, but they're pretty damn smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think, especially in my business, connection is everything. Like the connection you make, as much as the results, obviously that's why they're paying us. Obviously that's why they're coming in. They want the results. But having that personality to talk to and even talk deeper about life situations, about family, about, the things that they did on the weekends, right? Like people need that interaction. And so I think it helps them actually get through their workout. They don't think about every single rep. They don't think about the pain that they're in or how long they have left because they're enjoying the time that they're spending people to people. So I definitely think AI will have a benefit in our world and will never actually take care or take over us, which I think is awesome.
Yep. I think
I'd like to see is more pattern recognition and being able to, because like food, it tells a story. Like when I look at someone's diet plans and I'm seeing that they're eating under their calories and they do so for long enough, I know that this person's going to fall off. Eventually, they're going to get so hungry, so beat down because they're being more aggressive than they can sustain. But getting that client to identify that pattern is really, really, really hard. So having some type of engine running in the background, really seeing how, hey, you do these 50 habits and then it equals this and then you do it again. Well, then it keeps happening. So I think pattern recognition and being able to do the analytics side of things and just offload that. So you're not having to spend an hour going through someone's like last 2 months of workout logs. It's just AI. What's going on here? What's not matching my progression scheme?
I think you just hit it on the head that if you're already not, so ChatGPT, we're all familiar with it. If you're not already establishing ChatGPT in your business, you are way behind, and you'll continuously be behind, because this thing, yes, you know what you're doing as a fitness professional. Yes, the authenticity of what you're building is great. But if you're not using this to superset yourself, to get light years ahead and spend your time wisely, like, you're really behind. Because I can use ChatGPT to help write my contracts, right? I could use ChatGPT to help write my nutrition plans. And obviously, as an individual that likes to mold things into his own way, I'm going to mold it into what's better for me and my business. But if you're not utilizing these AI tools, like, you're far behind. Why would you not? Take advantage of your time.
Talk about a guy who's just ready to summarize everything we just talked about. It just literally comes in right at the end and says exactly what we were just touching about. We were talking about the idea with nutrition, the idea of utilizing it as a personal trainer, using it for sheets as far as contracts, or for me, moving into the small group director role, I was talking about, being able to write these program sheets that's going to be for a 3-month build out of a client or a kettlebell class. Anything that's kind of like, if you're trying to spend too much time, too much brain power, time is money. And it's more efficient for a trainer to spend 10 minutes asking ChatGPT to write a little prompt and then editing it than spending 4 hours trying to make some tailored program.
And I think
scratch.
Also to piggyback off of that, it's, yes, time is money, but also saving money is money, meaning I don't have to pay somebody to write my contract. I don't have to pay a lawyer. I don't even have to pay a lawyer to double check my contract. ChatGPT, you just tell it, hey, be a lawyer and tell me what's wrong with this in the state of California and what changes do I need to make, right? And bam, it's going to do it in 5 seconds, and you're getting it for fucking free. Like, so it's not only saving you your time, it's saving you your money and putting savings back into your business or your gym or whatever it is that you're building. And so again, if you're not using it, you're behind, and it's not going to take over your job. It's going to benefit and bring value to your job.
Hey, Tyler, remember when our good friend Aaron got sued and his contract just got fucking destroyed, lost everything? And sir, this is nothing.
Does that mean I don't know where you got this. On ChatGPT? Do I get to sue ChatGPT?
Oh, dude,
I don't know.
Question.
Maybe.
Is there a disclaimer?
You're right.
Is there a disclaimer on it?
It never says I don't sign a contract with no ChatGPT saying that this information is to be used by my own discretion, or so maybe.
Someone in the comment section down below, feel free to insert that somewhere if you.
But I'm never attacking ChatGPT, man. That thing has saved me multiple times, and I will continue to go back to it. So yeah, I think AI is here to stay in our industry.
Yeah.
I got a fun one for you guys. What are we worried about?
With AI? Or in general? Because I got a lot of shit I could throw out there in general.
I was going to say, how long do you guys have?
This is a therapy session. I'm all about it. But no, I'm just kidding. I'll let Tyler go first. He seemed like he had something.
I'm not too worried. As far as the only thing that I'd be worried about is just the general population. We're not getting people that are coming in right away because they're going to go on ChatGPT and say, hey, write me a workout program for this type of movements. And they're just going to go try to do it on their own. But eventually they're going to not see the results. They're going to get discouraged. They're not going to be moving correctly. They're going to be posture correction is going to be completely off. And eventually those people will make it back. So I don't know enough people that are doing that. It's not really a big worry.
Let me just say this. I mean, what's stopping them? ChatGPT, great. What's stopping them from the content that's already been out, right? These people, YouTube, right? I mean, they could go on YouTube. They could look at these things. The one thing you cannot learn from ChatGPT is the one thing that you need in order to succeed in our industry, and that's habits. It's not going to coach you or teach you how to build habits. You have to do that by yourself through time, in and out of the gym, with your trainer, with whoever it is that's coaching you. It's not going to coach you on these things. And so we know that it's not going to be sustainable. So I don't see much harm in our profession of what AI can really do. They've tried it in many times. I mean, you got the at-home mirror. You got the Pelotons out there. Computers have already tried to take away our jobs, and we're still standing here growing at what I would say fastest rate so far.
Yeah, the only risk I can see is more people feeling like they can write programs, so taking clients from trainers that are more adept and more knowledgeable. It makes it really easy for people with less experience, less knowledge to just sound like they're at a higher level. But that's more for those that are looking for the online basis. I don't see it as far as like an in-person type of change for me.
That's good.
I think it's going to edify very good personal trainers, make those of us that are skilled in our profession shine. And downside, it's gonna hurt a lot of people. You're gonna get a lot of guys that are doing programs that they essentially made ChatGPT designed towards what they wanted it to be versus what they needed.
Right.
So I don't like doing lunges. Get rid of those. And then this person doesn't have any type of single leg movement, and then they blow their knee out later. So I think it's going to tailor it too much to the individual, which is going to lead to a lot of injuries, which it's not going to hurt our business. Like ultimately, it's all going to make its way back to us anyway. Because this person's still going to need to lose weight or build muscle or whatever their drive is, and now they have an injury. But I do think it is going to see to a rise of guys tearing their pec because they wanted to do a bench every day program that they weren't ready for, but they told ChatGPT to write them a bench every day program.
Yeah, it's also not experienced enough. Let's say like I have an athlete who has rolled their ankle and is 3 weeks back. It's not able to assess that ankle and see what they're able to do. Should they be working on strengthening exercises? What kind of balance movements? It doesn't know how to actually tailor in those type of particular movements. It'll give them just general movements that's like, like single leg balance or like, this or that, but it's not so well and it's so skilled to know particular movements that we've picked up.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in the fitness world as a coach, and if you're not doing this, then you're not necessarily coaching, is modifications, right? Instant modifications. Somebody said, oh, that doesn't feel right. Okay, bam, let me make this change. Let me, feel this out, see how this is going. Let me pivot this way, right? So modifications is huge. And so if you're using AI, modifications in the exact moment that something's happening or not feeling correctly, is not going to go down. So
you think about it or making an adjustment when things hurt, but sometimes things are supposed to hurt. Like, it's kind of nasty as that. It's like, all right, I need you to foam roll your teres minor. All right, that fucking hurts. I don't care if you're doing it right, wrong, you need it, don't need it. That just hurts. So I think a lot of times people are going to go, oh, well, this hurts here. Like, well, yeah, you're stretching out your medialis and your quad. Of course your knees don't feel great, but they will later. So I think we're all kind of parroting the same thing, is like it's not going to know the questions to ask, and the individual answering the questions isn't going to know enough to give the information for, even if ChatGPT was able to do its job, it wouldn't get the information it needed.
Right, and I also think, and this is going way above and beyond, but if you guys have been to the Sphere in Vegas, they have these fucking AI robots where they're literally human-like. Like, they move like you, they talk like you, they remember shit. It's wild. But in my opinion, even if it got to that, let's say there's an AI robot spotting people in the gym and stuff like that, as humans, I don't think we want that connection, because that's a scary thought. Like, that's almost saying, like, these guys are replacing us as humans. Like, I don't think that's ever going to get to that. I don't think as humans we will accept that.
That's something it's in our lifetime. Like, even if, like, I don't want to be, like, too, well, that's their fucking problem, nerds.
Dude.
Like, I don't want to be that way, but I do think during our lifetime, and anyone listening to this, we're not going to have to worry about the fitness careers going away.
No, but I definitely can see that in the future, because if we think about just the 30 years I've been alive, I remember box TVs, and now I can watch.
Bro, yeah, there was not even even internet, and now all of a sudden we have it at the palm of our hands. Like, it's crazy.
Literally.
But I will straight iRobot that shit. I'm gonna fight against no fucking robots ever allowed in my gym. Not even one of those little vacuum cleaners. Like, stay the fuck out.
All right. I wonder what Aaron thinks about what I was saying. All right, so Aaron, imagine this. Imagine you're an at-home trainer who's got clients around the world, and these are like high-ticket trainers, like high-ticket people. And so you're able to put on a VR headset and basically like screen into one of those robots at somebody's house and be there physically as a trainer. Imagine you're able to just be there, and actually, like, they have all the equipment in the garage, and now you're on a VR headset, so you're actually visually there, but you're just talking and you're moving through as a robot.
And yet so realistic. Dude, that's actually genius. And it doesn't technically take our job. We're still working. It's just our reach is now expanded significantly. And that's actually it.
Let's all be on the same page. If I'm creating robots to train in people's homes, I
think it's a service for us. Somebody else is creating that motherfucker. Yeah,
that's somebody else's job.
Ryan,
if it gets to that point,
I was gonna say, Ryan, I was like,
guys,
if you can manage something like that, get the fuck out of this industry, because
you're
in the wrong industry,
man.
I mean, it could be at the tip of your fingers, dude. To just all you have to do is just get a VR headset. You log into some type of app or profile.
So that client purchases the robot,
hire out,
or it's like they purchase the business and we send them a fucking robot.
They purchase these
robots.
robots
To come to your house.
Yeah, they purchase the robot. They already have the robot, and that robot is just going to have thousands of apps. It's just like the idea of having your phone. Your phone, you can download tons of apps. You want to learn a different language? Download Duolingo.
Now, Aaron, I got a question for you. So in this world that Tyler's creating, where he has a personal robot that has 1,000 apps, you know exactly where I'm going. How are you going to feel streaming into that thing when you know who else streamed in?
Dude.
That's a scary thought, man. I think
I don't know how I feel about that.
Like I mentioned before, I'm not letting one of those robots into my home. So
okay,
yeah,
I don't think we got anything to worry about with AI.
You stream into one of those robots at one of your clients' house, and you're like, "Why is the grip just stuck like this?"
It won't shut it.
The right arm keeps breaking down. It's weird.
Its mouth closed. I don't understand. Like, it's stuck.
God.
In other words, I think we can all agree. Fuck AI, and there is benefits to it in the fitness industry, but no, it will not take over our jobs. But if you are a trainer and you have not started utilizing it, make sure you guys practice it, because it will save you a lot of time, save you a lot of money, and allow you to focus your attention on things that matter inside of your business.
Very good recap.
Yeah, no, that's the closing remarks there, boys. AI is a great tool to add. Use it. If you're not, hate to break it to you, it's going to absolutely screw you later on. But all right, guys, it's been a fantastic episode. Aaron, thanks for hopping on for 5.
Thank you guys for having me, and always remember, do something great.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go do something mediocre just for you, bud.
All right, and always remember, Tommy's here in the background. He's just been cracking up this last 5 minutes.
It's been fun, guys. Sorry again for being late. That was a situation at work. See, guys, in work, you just have to, when you're owning a business, you gotta, unfortunately, deal with the time management a little better.
There's always one thing that comes up and another thing that ends. An opportunity, a fire, and yeah, you actually have to go live life outside of that too.
Bro, speaking of life,
all right,
somebody
guys, we'll catch you in the next one.